everyone. Thanks a lot for being here this afternoon for this TechBio roundtable. It's a quite important week for the TechBio in France because we are celebrating the one-year anniversary of the TechBio ecosystem this week because we have announced the TechBio Industrial Association exactly 1 year ago at AI for Health. And also, particularly on personal perspective, it's quite cool for me to be here. I am participating to AI for Health for 8 years now, so I have been to all sessions. It's getting bigger and bigger, obviously today with a more other type of industry on top of healthcare. And as you have seen, I will be with a lot of very interesting speakers who are either executive or C-levels within TechBio company or within company who are developing services for TechBio company. The objective for us today will be to explain to you what are TechBio, what are the difference between TechBio and other type of company in healthcare such as biotech. As you have seen as well, there is not sufficient seats for the number of speakers, so we'll do 2 batches. The first batch will be with Hedi, who is CEO of One Biosciences, Hedi. David, who is CEO of WhiteLab Genomics, and Kevin, who is head of partnership at DeepLife. So we'll have a round of introduction, a round of discussion, then we'll have the second batch, and then we'll open to Q&A from the audience. So feel free to gather your question for the Q&A session at the end of the 2 batches of discussion. So first of all, thanks a lot for being here. Thanks a lot as well for participating to the TechBio booth, because all these speakers have built together a TechBio booth, which is quite original because most of the time you see big corporates who are inviting their client startup to be part of a booth. When it comes to what we have built with the TechBio initiative, it's a startup-led initiative, so it's only startups that have joined force in this booth. So thanks a lot again for being here. I would be very happy to have a quick introduction from your respective company, and as well a quick insight on what does it mean for you to be a TechBio and to be part of this TechBio ecosystem.
Thanks, Timothé. Sometimes when I describe TechBio, I think TechBio, in fact, is Timothé, because you created TechBio France and this booth, and thank you very much. So at One Biosciences, we are a precision diagnostic company. We want to understand the complexity of the tumor to help the physicians better choose the treatment for each patient. A TechBio versus a biotech means that we are not developing one drug and bringing into clinical practice. We are helping the development of drugs and helping better results for patients through different aspects. And us is precision diagnostics. And I think TechBio is often at the crossroad of biology and another technology. Today it's mostly AI, data science. And here for us, it's the crossroad of single-cell technologies, meaning the ability to understand a tumor cell by cell and bringing it to the reality of the hospitals and the pharma development.
Thank you. David?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to being here. Well, TechBio is the realization that if you want to change the way drugs or biology are developed and designed to enable to have better drugs reach patients faster, we need to do things a different way. And this is the mission, I think, for all of TechBio companies joining forces, using AI and technology to disrupt, I would say, the traditional model of the pharmaceutical industry. That's what we're doing at WhiteLab Genomics. We are designing in silico genomic medicine drugs, so drugs that are going to carry and deliver DNA or RNA or CRISPR into cells to cure cells at their core, and then to cure disease in 1 or 2 shots. And those drugs today are saving lives, changing patient lives and stories and family stories, but they take 15, 20 years to reach the patient. They cost $2-3 billion, and it shouldn't be that way. because they save lives, and eventually you can cure an infant just after they're born from a disease that will be lethal to them. So this is our mission, and in general, that's the mission of TechBio, accelerating the way R&D development or clinical development are done in the traditional pharmaceutical and biotech industries.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Timothé, for the invitation. So, of course, what I can add on top of what David and Hedi said is, like, for me, TechBio is also breaking barriers and breaking the silos. At DeepLife, we're developing a technology that's called the digital twin of the cell that allows us to monitor and to predict the cell state based on omics data, mainly single-cell transcriptomic to start, but also multi-omics data. And when I say breaking silos, I mean we rely on the technology to help people and to help the clinicians to understand the disease directly at the patient level and at the single-cell level. So, of course, the classical development step with in vitro, with preclinical stages, with in vivo experiment, and then with clinical trials, the TechBio technology can jump in there and take directly what's at the patient side and put it everywhere. And by this means, we will have better treatments that are more relevant, more quickly, and that can cure also diseases that today are not curable. And at DeepLife today, we are positioned in several therapeutic areas. Of course, we have oncology, rare disease, with several of our partners, but we are also advancing neurodegenerative disease as well as autoimmune disease and rare disease as well.
Thanks a lot. I have a question for you all. So, as I mentioned, there is AI for Health for 8 years. You are in the business of life science for quite a while. We are witnessing ton of innovation on various type of industries. Life science and pharma company are known to have taken time to adopt this technology, lagging behind compared to other industries, including bank or transport. What is your opinion on the current status on the adoption of AI in life science and more specifically in pharma company? Have you seen something that is changing recently in your interaction with client or more broadly with the ecosystem?
Sure, the true pharma are slow to move. Also, there is a very strong regulations in this industry that drives also the development, but definitely they are changing. Some are more advanced, some are less, but I don't know any pharma who doesn't have an AI initiative, digital transformation department, these kind of things, and more keen to adapt technologies, and they know that they cannot develop every expertise, and it will come from very specialized, focused targets. And I know, for example, I mean, we are in partnership with Sanofi, which is so much larger than we are, but in our core technology, we are 15 at One Biosciences. They have 3 experts at Sanofi. So we are significantly bigger and stronger than they are in our very special niche, and they acknowledge that, they see our added value, and they're ready to work with us. We already had a first contract with them, and now we are discussing a second one. So I think it's a great proof.
And maybe just to comment on that in terms of, and then we can get your opinion on this industry maturity. What you touch point in terms of expertise is super important. Probably as myself, you had a lot of students in your booth today and yesterday with a lot of talented data scientists who want to explore how can they use their skill applied to life science. And what is challenging sometimes is that life science is very complex. It's a very specific deep tech technology, deep tech application that require a very challenging and complex understanding on the underlying mechanism on what you are doing on data science. And what you have mentioned, gathering skills, not only data scientists, but also other type of biologists and so on, is key to interact with your client. Can you as well comment on that briefly?
Sure. We have the chance that our technology has emerged in research maybe like 8 to 10 years, and now we have PhD that are specialized in our technology. So we can find out they will be really bioinformaticians, and they will be able to analyze gene, but not to understand maybe the effect of such gene or another one. So we need to combine the skills of this super precise, really expert PhD in bioinformatics And next to them, we need a biologist who understands the application, how this gene or another may impact the disease or the drug, the drug efficacy. And combining that, then we can create not one technology, but solution that would convince a large partner like a pharma or maybe another big biotech.
Okay, thank you. And David, maturity and skill set?
Yeah, so about the maturity, I mean, I know we need to leave some time for the next batch to come and talk, and I could talk about that for like hours, but I think the maturity in the pharmaceutical industry is very early for AI right now. And if you look at automotive industry and special, you know, like aerospace industry is way more mature. And the reason they needed to like cut costs in the early days. If you want to like have a car that's like safe and functional, and people buy it, you need to do a lot of simulations, you know, in computers. It's been done for many, many years. In the field of biology, for many reasons, one being the world of biology still being discovered, the AI layers are just like starting to kick in. And finally, you know, Sanofi will also have a big partnership with them. They're like leading, you know, the wave of AI in pharmaceutical industry. Today, nobody is questioning what's the impact of AI in life science, but for me, it's the early days. And what we see is like more specialized profiles at the crossroads of data science and biology in our fields, computational biology, structural biologists. It's amazing to see those talent emerging, or even transferring from one side to the other. It seems that it's going to be almost impossible in the next couple of years to just be a pure biologist with no comprehension of what's going to happen in the data world.
Thank you. Kevin, maybe different aspect. If you can share one success story very briefly on your side.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Timothé. And for me, we are right in the middle of showing that we are about to deliver. Of course, AI in pharma industry is an old field. It exists for 100 years now, and it's working. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's working. So at DeepLife, we took the bet of showing that we have real value really on the clinical side. That's why we are working with the Centre Léon Bérard, for example, and we do digital twinning of their patients that have head and neck cancer, and to help them to decipher which patient will respond or which patient will evolve by dissecting all the molecular mechanisms directly at the patient side. So I think we're on a good way. Like you said, David, maybe they are not fully ready to fully integrate AI, but I think when we will have the first big successes, then the job is done and they will integrate this on every step of what they are doing. Early development, clinical development, patient side, and also diagnostics and choosing the right treatment for the right patients.
Thank you. Let's rotate with other speaker. And then, here. So welcoming Paul, the CEO of ADLIN, Vincent, the CEO of MAbSilico, and Frédéric, VP Data Science at Ariana. Thanks as well for being here, again for being part of the TechBio booth. I will tend to have different questions, to have a different angle and different perspective from your opinion. We'll be very happy to have, I will wait to, or we'll get the music for, okay. Ça marche. I can sing, but you don't want that. So thanks a lot again for being part of this second part of the roundtable. We had a company working of single cell genomics, a company working on the design of gene therapy, DeepLife generating some kind of avatar of cells. With you, we'll have 3 other type of technologies. Again, we are all sharing a vision of TechBio, so it will be very interesting to have your viewpoint, obviously first on what you are doing, but then on what does it represent to you to be part of a TechBio ecosystem? Paul, starting potentially with you, I also want to have, because I don't think you are calling yourself a TechBio. I am not considering you as a TechBio. So I would be very happy to have your opinion on what do you provide you as what we call, we will soon release a mapping of TechBio company in France and stakeholder of company. It will be released on the 4th of December at Future for Care. We are organizing a large half-day TechBio conference with around 300 participants, like 20 speakers. And part of this mapping, we are presenting around 30 French TechBio. But there is another side as well. There is VC, there is Pharma, and there is also tech enabler. And I will be very happy to have your opinion on what is a tech enabler. We are seeing a lot of providers that are needed by TechBio company to achieve what they are doing. So what are you doing, and your opinion on what is a TechBio, and why are you here?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the invitation, Timothé. Yeah, indeed, we're not a TechBio, but before, what is a TechBio? We started the company 5 years ago with the TechBio term wasn't existing. It was more biotech because science was driven by biology, by WhiteLab. And at some point, analysis was needed. And with the evolution of methodologies, of technologies, the dry part, the analytical part, took more and more importance. And it's driven the science now with need of biological information. And this shift was very a testimony for us of the importance of data. More and more for TechBios, the quality of the data, the accessibility of the data, the multimodality of data was key to be able to train the model that will help us understand everything that you said before. And so our position as ADLIN, we define ourselves as data and AI enabler because we provide the environment, the methodologies to access qualitative data, well-structured, in a contextualized biological, scientific, and medical environment. And for us, this is really key because we've seen that the whole 2 days and even before, that AI will change the world, will provide new solutions, new ways to cure diseases. But we are now at a threshold with the quality of data being a frein, something that disable us to go beyond. And we want to be that provider of, as a partner of the qualitative data that are needed for TechBios.
And in terms of quantity, because like, you know, we have all witnessing the emergence of OpenAI technologies and so on that have been developed and insanely big database. When it comes to life science, I'm thinking also on one bioscience working on single cell sequencing. It's more what we call fat data, which is a small data set of patients, but with incredibly a lot of information related to one person. Is it also a challenge that you are addressing?
Of course, we don't have any vision of what type of AI should be used. LLM will need a huge amount of data, but other methods like DeepLife or Ariana, I'm sure you're going to talk about that, also are not using the same models and not using the same type of analysis, and so they don't need the same type of data. The most important aspect is not the amount, is not the diversity, is the quality of the data. And depending on the quality, you will apply of what is available, you will apply the right models. And this is why combining efforts between us, it's key, because we need to provide different solutions to healthcare providers, to pharmaceutical labs who will address a scientific problem with accessible patients, accessible data, and we need to provide the right tools to enable them to find the solutions.
Thank you. Would you like to jump in, especially with a small data set? I think it's something that you have to comment on your side. Absolutely. Introducing yourself, of course, first.
Absolutely. Thank you, Timothé, for the invitation and sharing this session. Indeed, I like this definition that you provided of fat data. So few patients, but very well characterized. So one can think, of course, of single-cell data, as Hedi introduced, but there are many more other types of data that can be collected within a patient. Of course, other molecular types of data, DNA, proteomics, microbiota, but also other things like imaging or electroencephalography, etc., etc. And I think we need to understand that in contrary to other type of industry of domain, we operate in a world where very less is known. I mean, I think this is you, David, that said it. The book of biology is still being written. It's largely incomplete as compared to the book of, I don't know, aeronautics or car engineering. So we have a lot to discover and to understand, and hence we must have methods that can work with the very few examples that we have. And we must take advantage of the possibility of the technology to more deeply characterize the few examples that we have. And one very key application is the example of rare disease or early stage clinical trial, which is a field where Ariana operates and is able to identify key scientific hypotheses driving the rest of the clinical development path. Just my last word would be about the definition of TechBio. I'm super happy that you provide this discussion here. Perhaps some careful observer has seen that in the name of Ariana there is the word Pharma, which was chosen more than 20 years ago. And I wish that already this TechBio discussion had occurred then. I think my personal position on that is that there are three main pillars. One is the transversality, because we can operate on a number of different projects, of different diseases, of different drugs, indication, etc. We have the flexibility, because we must be able to operate with different mindsets, different partners, different types of entities, biotech, big pharma, etc. And the last one was also mentioned by my colleagues here, which was interdisciplinarity. We are at the crossroad of many different scientific domains, biology, AI, computer science, etc. And this is, I think, the key.
So do you foresee companies that are agnostic to the industrial application as a potential competitor, such as OpenAI, for instance? It's not a life science company, obviously, but do you foresee this type of companies that have not the skill set of the application into what we are doing as a potential competitor or as a provider?
Thank you, Timothé. Was this question on the list? But that's a pertinent question. From a scientific perspective, perhaps not yet, but we have to keep in mind that this company, they have a massive financial power, and they could just, buy all of us in a snap and claim that they have the expertise. So that's a yes or no answer, I'm sorry.
I think claiming and doing is quite different, but I agree with you. Vincent?
Yes, so it's a very good point that you mentioned regarding the data, because you have different ways. So you can have access to public data sets, which can be an easy way, but for small subset of patients can be a problem. And the way that we have tackled the issue at MAbSilico was to generate biological data that we used on top of the public information that we could retrieve to develop different algorithms for antibody drug design. And the thing that is interesting is also, as you said, the disciplinary of different teams, because you need data scientists, experts in biology, computer scientists, also developers. And this is, on my point of view, what is different compared to a classic biotech, where you need scientists who know how to develop drugs. But for TechBio, you have to have a bigger landscape of different people from different expertise. And perhaps if we go back to your initial question about how the AI evolved into the biotech and the pharma, so MAbSilico was founded in 2017. So I remember back then when we were speaking with biotech and a pharma company, when we were explaining them that we could do antibody drug by AI, they were laughing at us. So the way we were managed to still be there through organic growth was to demonstrate that we could do that through use cases and biological validation. And we can do it either by ourselves, through fundraising, but the way we decided to move on was to find early adopters of the technologies. And for technology disruption, this is, on my point of view, always where you need to go for finding people who can believe, who have the mindset to adopt new technologies, to build this trust with them, and then move forward with bigger players in the industry.
Thanks, Vincent. I think we are out of time. Do we have time for one or few questions?